saint and kind of saint, and then you might have, you know, that kind of goes like this, and then it kind of comes up, and then you might have a couple other bumps, and then you come down over here, psychopath, way down over there. People that probably don't have any real restraints other than, you know, logical, knowing that, hey, if I go and kill that person or whatever that I don't like, though I might get caught, or that's probably about the only thing that's really stopping them. You know, it's not the fact that they, you know, would feel guilt or sorrow, or, you know, don't, you know, whatever. If maybe they could even get some money out of it or something like that, they probably would do it, even if they don't know the person, just because it's like, hey, money in my pocket, so what person did, not a big deal. What's the difference between that person and you know, a cat or a dog? You know, so anyways, that's, I don't know how psychopaths exactly think, but I'm guessing it's something like that. So yeah, that's the first way you can think of things. You know, you can think of your philosophy then is basically to protect those most like yourself. Would make the most sense. And I said that might be a little taboo, but, you know, I don't think so, really. And along with that, you know, potentially in the future, you might think that people would do cloning or something like that, because then you have basically a perfect copy of, you know, someone who probably has the same perception as you do in general, at least, you know, nature-wise. Maybe different nurtures and stuff like that would cause different perceptions, different perceptive states, you know, and or maybe you could have, you know, make people take drugs or something like that to make them have a similar perception to you, if you're trying to preserve your perception state, because that's kind of what we try to do. I mean, human beings try to save your life. You know, you try to, you know, make more money. You try to, you know, try to better your own situation. You try to, you know, stay alive longer, whatever the case may be, and you do it for yourself. You know, even if you're a religious person, you believe in an afterlife, the things you do in this life are the things that you're preparing, you know, for your perception, your soul, whatever you want to call it. You know, next generation, or whatever. If you believe in reincarnation, your next reincarnated self. So anyway, from that though, you know, cloning, then if you could ever, you know, get rid of all the rotten parts about it, wouldn't be a bad philosophy necessarily either, because then you're preserving exactly the same perception naturally, at least, the nature part of it. You know, you'd have different, again, nurture, but same nature. Or there's another way. This is the second way you can look at things: is that we are all human beings, and animals and such are all, you know, connected. We're all cells of a bigger organism, basically. And when you look at things like that, then what you might want to not preserve necessarily is the self so much as the framework, or the I guess the status quo of other things, all of life and the planet and all that. Now, that is probably you know, another very good, very logical, I guess, philosophy from basically what we just started out with, just working our way up. You know, and some might say it's a more noble one or something like that. Maybe it feels better guitarally, because then, you know, you think that other people will probably want to protect you over their own butts. Not over their own butts, but just as much as their own butts, or, you know, in a similar amount. They wouldn't want to, you know, get rid of all of the people that are, you know, speaking on YouTube, making these little videos and such like that, if it would, you know, upset the balance of, you know, the greater planet or something like that. And likewise, you know, someone making videos on YouTube probably wouldn't want to, you know, get rid of, you know, or, you know, downplay some other group or something like that. So that's that philosophy right there. And I think in that kind of philosophy actually goes quite a bit farther, because I'll get to that in a little, or why that one's makes a lot more sense, I guess, in a little bit. So, after some other things. So, why do our differences? So human beings do have differences again. So yeah, there's, you know, there's all sorts of different kinds of people. There's smarter, there's dumber. There's more saint-like and more evil-like. There's you know, all the different I guess directions that you can point. There's people along that the grid line, tread line, whatever. And our differences, though, so what are some natural things that cause these differences? Well, here's some interesting facts. Did you know? You might not know, but there's some research to show, quite a bit actually, that started to pop up to show that there's regions in the DNA called genetic hotspots, which are very, very variable. They change a whole bunch from one generation to the next. So you can have, a whole bunch of mutations in these little areas and such. Now, what's interesting though is the fact that these regions are made kind of to be that way, and they are in regions of the genome, in genes that are responsible for mental capacities, or mental brains and faces. So why would they be there? Well, my hypothesis is that you need a whole bunch of different kinds of people, going back also to this last philosophy of everything being connected, kind of higher level way of looking at things, and way of making an ethic out of your philosophy, or an ethical an ethics drivable philosophy, which is the last one I said, which is a lot of other people kind of believe that too. So the genetic hotspots are important because they can, when you look at that philosophy, because you need different kinds of people kind of rising almost spontaneously. Like, let's say you got some people, some human beings, like 5 of them go to a little island, and they move and they blossom and reproduce, and now you got 1,000 of them. Well, I mean, you'd have some difficulties if everybody thought the same, because you wouldn't have all the different kinds of people that a society might need. I mean, you need some people that are more caring, less caring, more intelligent and such. But oops, I gotta take a break.